that I just invited 30 seconds ago. Kristen Evans, welcome.
Hi, buddy.
Oh man,
Happy
I'm
Friday.
incredible hair. Love the haircut.
Thank you. Yeah, I did it totally impulsively this week because it was bugging me. So I just added some layers, and apparently that's all I needed because my curls are like curling.
Super curling, and I'm digging it.
Thank
This is
you.
awesome.
I'm trying to make mine as big as yours, just, in my way instead of.
Good luck with that. I look like I just rolled out of bed because
You
I
did?
I didn't get ready for anything today. I didn't book calls and just coming to hang out in front of the computer all day, and I am what I am. So,
This is true. This is accurate. This is why we appreciate you.
well, thank you so much. So I don't have an agenda necessarily of any sort. I was just gonna work on being comfortable with pauses and trying to get the ums out today, and already failed miserably in the first 3 minutes of this. No, just 1 minute. So, damn it. What happened to you this week? Anything cool?
Yeah, I got a couple of good potential projects coming my way, which is pretty interesting. It's the end of the month, so always, getting prepared for reporting next week. Yay! Um, Absolute favorite. Yeah, I just had a really good conversation with a potential brand, and then I've been working with a couple of content creators on some optimizations. So just,
Okay.
digging into the weeds and kind of keeping myself busy to get myself out of the weeds.
Uh, Digging yourself out of a hole is it's not only an art form, but it's also a hidden pleasure.
Yeah.
There's a weird high
Yeah.
around that,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to
It's not
explain
necessarily
it.
one that I want all the time, though.
No,
But
it will kill you very quickly if
yeah.
you just try but so will cocaine. So I don't suggest
I mean,
that
it is
either.
basically the same high. Like when you think
Sure.
about it, it's a very similar. So I've heard. It's a
Yeah,
very
I mean, from a
high.
friend.
It's a rush, but
I've actually never done cocaine. And I don't
you
plan on
don't
doing it.
need to.
Yeah, I've never. I've always had a stance that I will not be doing that.
People like you and I do not need to do that.
Yeah, I think we've got enough going on up here. Uh, so I ran into something really cool today and sparked up a new sponsorship in Markable. I think I
You
sent you a
sent me a
link.
link. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, they immediately wanted to buy in and be a part of the sponsorship on the podcast, which is great.
Love that.
And so I've got some content to create now. But looks like a really cool tool, and I'm going to be telling a lot of people about it. But this week was kind of unique in the sense of 2 weeks ago, I came to Real Talk Friday and started talking about like being distressed and needing money. And 2 weeks later, I have a new problem of having a lot of money, but not being able to fulfill all the things that I just got paid for. So now I got a real influx of things, and now I've got to figure out a way to pay for services to help me get all these tasks done.
Yeah.
Yeah, scaling a business.
It's
What a trip.
you know what? I literally just typed that to somebody the other day. That I have been planning like this relatively large trip for the whole year, and
Yeah.
I had something pretty impactful happen in my business earlier this year that put that in jeopardy. And so, just like you, over the last couple of weeks, I've been like scrambling,
Yeah.
like just literally like, what can I do to still realize this? And also like, there's something that Karen Garcia said to me one time that really like sticks in my brain every single time I think about like how I do this to myself. Don't set your own house on fire to keep somebody else warm.
Ooh,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
powerful.
love Karen because of those all the time. But I really started thinking about that after this happened in January and how like that had such an impact on this thing that I've been wanting to do for so long and that is so meaningful for to me. And the thought of being able to tell people like, oh man, I'm not, actually not going to be able to do that really cool thing that I've been so excited about doing almost made me embarrassed, right? Like it just like it kind of sparked this fire under me where I'm like, give me everything. Like, I absolutely want to just take on every single project right now. And so, yeah, I totally feel you on that. The roller coaster of doing
Yeah.
what we do is,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back against the wall, that's when our kind of personality and ADHD
neurospiciness.
type brain, it unleashes like that cheat code
Yeah.
when our backs are up against the wall. And that's great. Great piece of another beautiful nugget from Karen Garcia. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, yeah. It literally like it plays in my brain almost nonstop throughout the day. And especially like if I'm coming up with one of those conversations where like I as a people pleaser and as affiliate marketers we're like naturally people pleasers, right? Like that's just kind of built into our donna. And it's so hard to say no when you always want to say yes because you want to please people. You want to do the best job. You want to be the best person. You want to make sure that you look good in other people's eyes, but that doesn't always help. And it's not good or healthy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I have to constantly be reminded of it because I'm the first to jump at an opportunity, regardless of whether it's best suited for me or not.
Yeah. And you mentioned like being embarrassed about like having to go back on something. And I am of the mind frame, and I think you are as well, but that it takes a lot to embarrass me, like virtually impossible in any kind of sense in like the verbal speak. But like that is one place that I do get embarrassed as well. Like that's why this is so hard for me to like break out and be vulnerable in this kind of sense, because I don't want to make that admission to the rest of the world.
I think though with this, it almost it adds credibility though,
Yeah,
because it's like you're a real person, like you're not just a machine, like you're an actual human with flaws and with benefits and all of that. And I don't necessarily have a super hard time being vulnerable. I feel like you know that about me pretty
yep,
well. I'm a pretty open book. I don't like to cry. It's not something I'll do very easily. But I don't have a problem being vulnerable. I do have a problem with thinking that I do have a problem with people thinking that I am not as good at things as I could be, or that that I have lesser integrity. And
yeah,
that's where that shame and embarrassment comes from, is like, I
okay,
don't want people to question my integrity.
yeah. I don't know if I've ever cried in the business like my favorite release. Uh, that's
I've
one of my
admittedly cried after like I've admittedly cried after a stressful like client call or something,
okay,
that, but it's one of those things where it's like my anxiety bubbles out to a point where I can't help it.
yeah,
And like that, which is also super embarrassing and hate it. Cause like if it weren't embarrassing enough to like cry, then it's like, oh, I cried because I was anxious, not because you were mean to me.
for sure. All right, I gotta go pick up the kids. Let's
Good.
schedule this for like 2 o'clock
Okay.
every Friday. Come join me. This is too good of a conversation, and like I'm just always so open with you. I want to do this more.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend. Say hi to the fam.
All right, we'll see y'all later.